Senator Bolden.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that further proceedings under the roll call be dispensed with and the Sergeant at Arms be instructed to bring in the absent members.
On that motion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. Members, our pastor today is Pastor Dan Milkey from Grace Baptist Church in Austin, Minnesota. Please stand for the prayer, and after the prayer, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you for the honor of being able to be with you. I invite you to join with me as I talk to my daddy. Father, I have a simple request, but I want to start off with thanks for the men and women in this room. How they have given and served, they've given time with family to be able to try to solve complicated problems that help the rest of us. And Lord, because they solve complicated problems, my prayer is simple, that you would help them understand and find the truth. And that, Lord, with the truth, they would have wisdom to discern the truth. They would have courage to stand with the truth. And that, Father, they would also have patience to wait for the truth. And Lord, knowing, as you say, that the truth truly sets free, and knowing that your word says that it's not just a concept, but the truth is a person in Jesus Christ. And in his name, I thank you for all the work that is done here. And I also, Lord, ask for a special blessing on their families, that because they give up, they would have quality, wonderful time together. Amen.
Members, we will proceed now to the third order of business. The Secretary will take the roll.
Abler, Anderson, Barr, Bolden, Carlson, Champion, Coleman, Swadzinski, Dames, Dibble, Dornick, Draheim, Drazkowski, Duckworth, Diedzik, Eichhorn, Farnsworth, Fateh, Frentz, Green, Grunhagen, Gustafson, Hoschild, Herr, Hoffman, Housley, Howe, Jasinski, Johnson, Klein, Coran, Kroon, Kunish, Kupek, Lang, Latz, Liskey, Limmer, Lucero, Mann, Marty, Matthews, Mayquaid, McEwen, Miller, Mitchell, Mohammed, Morrison, Murphy, Nelson, Umuver Baton, Pappas, Pa, Port, Pratt, Putnam, Rarick, Rasmussen, Rest, Seeberger, Utke, Weber, Wiesenberg, Westland, Westrom, Wickland, Zhang.
A quorum is present. Members, we will now proceed to the third order of business, messages from the House. The Secretary will read the first message.
Mr. President, I have the honor to announce the passage by the House of the following Senate file herewith returned. Senate File Number 10, a bill for an act relating to labor and industry. Signed, Patrick D. Murphy, Chief Clerk, House of Representatives.
No action is required. The Secretary will read the next message.
Mr. President, I have the honor to announce the passage by the House of the following Senate file, as amended by the House, in which amendments the concurrence of the Senate is respectfully requested. Senate File Number 3035, a bill for an act relating to state government, establishing the biennial budget for the Department of Employment and Economic Development, etc. Senate File Number 3035 is herewith returned to the Senate. Signed, Patrick D. Murphy, Chief Clerk, House of Representatives.
Senator Champion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that the Senate do not concur in the amendments by the House to Senate File Number 3035, and that a conference committee of 5 members be appointed by the Subcommittee on Conference Committees on the part of the Senate to act with a like conference committee appointed on the part of the House. That's my motion, Mr. Chair. Mr. President.
On that motion, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. The motion prevails. The Secretary will read the next message.
Mr. President, I have the honor to announce the passage by the House of the following House file herewith transmitted. House File Number 36. Signed, Patrick D. Murphy, Chief Clerk, House of Representatives.
No action is required. We will proceed now to the fourth order of business, first reading of House bills. The House file has been given its first reading and referred as indicated. Members, we will now proceed to fifth order of business, reports of committees. Senator Bolden.
Mr. President, I move the committee reports printed in the agenda be adopted, with the exception of the reports pertaining to Joint Rule 2.03.
On the adoption of the committee reports, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion prevails. Members, we will proceed now to the seventh order of business, second reading of House bills. The Secretary will read the House file numbers.
House File numbers 24, 717, 1510, and 1960.
The House files have been given their second reading. We proceed now to the eighth order of business, introduction and first reading of Senate bills. The bills listed on today's introduction calendar are given their first reading and referred as indicated. Proceeding now to the ninth order of business, motions and resolutions, we will adopt the author motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion prevails. The Secretary will report the resolution.
Senators Dietzick, Johnson, and Champion introduced Senate Resolution Number 46, a Senate resolution recognizing Minnesota Senate employees for their years of dedicated service.
Senator Bolden.
Mr. President, I move that Senate Resolution number 46 be adopted.
To that motion, Senator Bolden.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, you will find this resolution on your desks. This is related to yesterday we recognized Minnesota Senate employees for their years of dedicated service. So this just puts that into record, as is our usual process. So thank you.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion prevails. Remaining under the order of business of motions and resolutions, Senator Bolden.
Mr. President, pursuant to Rule 26, I designate the following bills be made special orders for immediate consideration.
Senator Bolden, I got ahead of myself here. Senator Bolden, I'm going to ask you to make a motion to recess.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, I will shortly be making a motion to recess for approximately 1 hour. The DFL will caucus immediately in room 303, Capitol Room 303.
To that motion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are in recess.